Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Are you looking for a personal loan or line of credit? Well, today's your lucky day because I'm actually going to be telling you or sharing with you what I think is some of the best credit unions to actually go for a personal loan. Now, the first lender that we're actually talking about, BCU, Baxter Credit Union. Now, I made a couple videos about Baxter Credit Union that I think is very impactful, very helpful, right? Now, here's the thing about it with BCU is that they actually will easily let you join. Now, in terms of how to join, all right, so they use lifemoneyu.com. If you go through BCU and you go to the bottom, you'll see lifemoneyu.com. All right. Now, here's where you want to join because they'll actually waive that $5 fee for you to join. All right. Now, the interesting thing about this that I continue to tell people in terms of when you're talking about a loan, going after a loan. All right. So BCU uses a Vantage score, your TransUnion Vantage score. So whenever you're trying to look for funding and stuff like that, it's best to use like your FICO 9s if you can. FICO 9s or your Vantage, but there isn't too many banks out there that actually use your Vantage score. So BCU is one of those credit unions that actually use your Vantage score. So your Vantage TransUnion FICO score. Now, that's the type of score you would go to like Credit Karma or something like that, and they will actually give you that score. Now, some of your major banks also will give you your Vantage 3 TransUnion scores like American Express. They give you a Vantage 3 credit score, as well as Chase Bank will give you a Vantage 3 credit score. However, those financial institutions like that, they do pull your FICO 8 scores, okay? So don't get confused assuming that because they say you have a high Vantage score, that's the score they're going to use, because they're going to use a FICO score. So just keep that in mind. Now, let's understand this. Here's the thing about it, why I like BCU. Because they use a Vantage score or even a FICO 9 score. And the interesting thing about it is because they use third-party lenders as well. And so your third-party lenders is like Upgrade and Upstart. So if you're trying to get a loan through Upgrade or an Upstart, you can click the link in the description to apply with them. But these are the lenders that you can get approved with a 560, 580 credit score, okay? Also, their DTI, debt to income ratio, is higher than most of your traditional banks and credit unions. A lot of your credit unions and banks, their debt to income ratio is 50-55%. However, these alternative lenders like Upgrade and Upstart, their actual debt to income ratio can go anywhere from 70 to 75%. All right. So that's one of the reasons I think that BCU is a top competitor when it comes to like personal loans and stuff like that. Navy Federal. So with Navy Federal, their situation is you have to become a member. So they make it much harder to become a member because it's something military related, or if you are staying with somebody that you're sharing an address with and they're already a member of Navy Federal, then because you share the same address with them, you can become a member of Navy Federal, okay? Now with Navy Federal, they're a on their loans is TransUnion FICO 9. Okay, and again, with your FICO 9, with your Vantage scores, those type of scorings are much easier to build up than your FICO 8 because you can add authorized users. So if you're looking for authorized users to add to your credit file to boost up your credit score, you can click the link in the description and schedule one-on-one consultation with us. And I'll tell you some of the best authorized users you should add because all authorized users are not the same. All right, now, you can add authorized users to help build up your FICO 9. You can add subscriptions like your Hulu, Netflix subscriptions to build up FICO 9. Utility bills, you can do that. as well as rental payments. That's what FICO 9 Vantage score will calculate. However, your FICO 8 credit score will not include those. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right. With Navy Federal, I just wanted to mention this about Navy Federal because a lot of people are aware that with Navy Federal, a lot of people like us because you can have a 580 credit score and get a $25,000 credit card. All right. And so because they're able to give you a $25,000 credit, it's all about the relationship. This again is where your internal score really counts. So your internal score goes from 100 to 450. For some of you all that may not know, now with that 100 to 450, the way you build it up, I always tell you to get the, if you're able to do direct deposit, also if you're able to get a flagship checking account, make sure you get a savings account. You can get, if you have bad credit, get an N rewards, as well as a pledge loan. Also, you can get a money market account. Money market accounts are fairly cheap too. Like you can start a money market savings account, I think with Navy Federal for like $5 or something like that. It's very cheap to get one of those as well. And sometimes because you have multiple accounts with them starting out, Navy Federal will bypass that N Rewards secured card and they will bump you up to the cash rewards. They'll bump you up to the cash rewards card, okay? Even with a 550, 580 credit score, okay? So just keep that in mind. Also, again, with your BCU, like I said, with BCU, with their credit cards and stuff like that, because it's a Vantage score or a FICO 9 score TransUnion, it's much easier to get it with them as well. Now, in terms of joining BCU, I showed you that. Now you know how to join Navy Federal if you're not a military related. So let's look at the next credit union, BECU. Okay, so with BECU, that's your Boeing Employees Credit Union, all right? Now, here's the thing about it with Boeing Employees Credit Union, and this is very important because with Boeing, they're like real strict. They want a lot of paperwork. However, it's worth it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because with Boeing, you can do one hard inquiry and get 3 accounts. I'm talking about you could do a credit line increase, personal loan, you can get a credit line with all 3 accounts. Also, if you don't want the credit line increase, you can get a credit card, right? So you can get 3 accounts because they're hard inquiries, they last up to 30 days. So you can get 3 accounts with them from one hard pull. That's what makes them very different from like a Navy Federal. All right. Now, here's some other things that they would want from you. Like they will check systems. Okay. So you need to know that. Also, in terms of they want to see, they may want to see your ID, especially if you're out of state, you're not in one of the states that they actually operate in. So they're going to want to see your ID, your social security. They may want to see 6 months of pay stubs. They may want to even do a 4506T, meaning they want to see 2 years of taxes. But again, yes, it's a lot of paperwork, but it's worth it because they give you a lot of money off of one hard pull. Okay, so for some of you all that may have that question, now how to join Boeing, they have the Northwest Credit Union Foundation, friends of the foundation. So it's the Northwest Credit Union Foundation, Friends of the Foundation, and it's $20 to join. Okay. Now their loans, personal loans, start max out at $30,000, but again, you can get their lines of credit plus your credit cards and credit line increases as well. All right. So that's the reason that Boeing is such an important credit union, and in terms of they're pulling your TransUnion FICO 8, okay? Because I know somebody like, well, who do they pull? TransUnion FICO 8 on them, all right? So unfortunately, since they do a FICO 8, then you can't use your authorized users. However, they may be relationship sensitive because if you're willing to go through offering all that paperwork and stuff, you may have a higher chance of getting in if you're willing to do that. Minimum credit score with them is about a 660. All right. Now, here's the credit union that I like. This one is also a great credit union. So again, some of these credit unions, if you can't get into Navy Federal, these are the credit unions you want to go for, especially when you're trying to get like a loan or a personal loan and stuff like that. Now, you have the United Senate Federal Credit Union. Okay, so the United States Senate Federal Credit Union. Now, they pull Equifax. All right, so I just wanted you to know that they pull Equifax, but they may have switched over to Experian. But I'm understanding it may be a FICO 8 as well. So they may pull your Equifax or they may pull your Experian. But you can join through the American Consumer Council with them. So you can join through the American Consumer Council. Now, here's why I like them. Look at their personal loans. Their personal loans go from 250 up to 70,000. I think Navy Federal max out at 40,000. So going up all the way up to $70,000. Now the interest rate may be a point higher than Navy Federal, but they give you larger amounts of money. Okay. And another thing that they offer that Navy Federal doesn't offer, they offer an easy line. So when you join them and say that you need like some emergency money and stuff like that, they will actually give you a loan anywhere from $100 up to $1,000 without a hard credit check. All right. So that's without a hard credit check. They're able to give you that. Robinson's Financial Credit Union. Now, to my understanding, Robinson's Financial Credit Union, they pull your FICO 9, okay? They may pull your Experian or TransUnion, all right? But it can be a soft pull on that, all right? So just keep that in mind. But looking at their personal loans, they do offer the personal loan. They don't say how much they start at. So if any of you guys that are already members of Robinson's Financial Credit Union, put a comment below. Let me know if you like them. What did you like about them and stuff like that. Again, they also offer the credit cards. So look at here. They actually let you know what their credit limits are on their credit cards. Okay. And remember, this is a FICO 9. So you have a higher chance of being approved for these here cards. All right. Now, again, some of these credit unions, they may want a little more paperwork, especially if you're not in the region that they're in, okay? Let's talk about University of Michigan Credit Union. A lot of people like them as well because it's stated that they also would possibly do a TransUnion FICO 9. Now, if any of you guys that are watching this video, if you have been a part of the University of Michigan's credit union, let me know. Let me know. Put in a comment so we know. But they can let you borrow up to $50,000. That's right, $50,000. Okay. And to my understanding, there's no hard pull on membership. Okay. So that's pretty cool there. Now, in terms of the credit cards, they offer credit cards. Now, with their credit cards, they're starting limits on their Visa Platinum Optimum credit card or their Visa Platinum Cash Rewards. Their starting limits is $1,000. PenFed. Now with PenFed, again, their loans up to $50,000. They pull Equifax FICO 9. Now here's some interesting thing about it. Like I said, 620, 640 credit score for PenFed or whatever. But here's the thing about it with PenFed. They're very stickler on some of the things. And I'll tell you some of the things that they're real particular about. Like recent delinquency. So if you have a recent collections or recent charge off and stuff like that, they will turn you down for their personal loans. Also, time on the accounts. Okay, if you have too many new accounts open and stuff, that will get you denied a personal loan with PenFed as well. Okay, too many inquiries. They're very inquiry sensitive. That's the reason I tell you guys, if you have between 6 and 8 inquiries, you may be in the danger zone. Now, some credit unions, they will allow you up to 12 inquiries. However, like with PenFed, Navy Fed, those credit unions, they're real inquiry sensitive. So you have to be very careful in terms of dealing with them. Now, also, if you're trying to figure out, well, how do I even know what my FICO 9 score is and stuff like that, then you can click the link below and get your real credit score that'll give you not only your FICO 9, but it'll give you FICO 8, your FICO 10T trending score, and your mortgage scores, because some credit unions actually use your 2, 5, and 3 mortgage scores to give you funding as well. Okay, and you can schedule where I can take my time and go over your credit report and show you how to actually leverage and help you find some lenders that may be willing to give you funding off of your different credit scores. Okay, now one other thing with PenFed, they may turn you down because you have too many accounts with balances. This is so important, and this is what, whenever people have a consultation with me and I'm looking at their file and they're like, well, why did I get denied? One of the things that I notice off back, if I don't care, even if your utilization is under 9%, that's the reason, and that's very important, that 9%, because I know a lot of people say, well, 30%. No. 30% is okay, but 9% because it helps give you a higher credit score, okay? And so if you have multiple open revolving accounts, then places like PenFed would turn you down. Even though you may have a high credit score, you have too many open revolving accounts. So it don't matter that you have a 720, 740, 800 credit score. If you have too many open revolving accounts, they look at it as a threat. Okay, so that's the reason you have to be very careful. Now, if any of you guys have any questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, or removing any negative items off of the credit report, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.